remember literally at one point, when I first got diagnosed with lupus, my blood count had dropped all the way. I was in like ICU really bad. I remember like I was out of it, but I could hear my mama and I could hear my grandma praying. And after that, I remember coming up out of that. I remember opening my eyes and seeing my mama and my grandma right by my bedside, and I'm like, I was just gone. So absolutely not. I was that kid. I would get mad when my mama didn't tell me if something was going on. But the adult I am now can just appreciate that childhood that I had more because back then, because I was like, you know what? She did go make sure everything was taken care of. Like even when we didn't have anything, like we were still pretty fortunate. So it's just like I can appreciate now more as an adult than I could at that time.
Yeah. When you say your mama wasn't telling you what was going on, how do you even feel like something is going on? Like, what were you?
Her body language. I'm kind of like, I've always been like a people watcher. So I just kind of.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
So usually on silent.
All right.
I had to make sure mine was too. But I just used to pay attention to her demeanor because this is my mama. This is the woman I want to be when I grow up. So I just used to pay attention to everything she did. When things bothered her, like even when she would try to keep them from us, like I was so nosy, I was gonna figure it out.
Us. You what age would you say you started like looking at that kind of stuff?
Probably like when I like really, really started knowing stuff, like just recognizing things. Probably 10.
And how many of y'all is it?
It's 3. So my older brother Anthony, I'm the middle child, and then my little brother Tyler.
Is your mother a single parent?
Yes, she was.
Yeah. And you said how old you was when you started? 10?
Yes.
Yeah. What did that do to you at 10? Because if you feel like she's not telling you the truth, right?
Not necessarily not telling me the truth, but I could just tell like certain things were like burdens on her.
Yeah.
Or like, just regular adult stuff like bills, stuff like that, or, people passing or just, just everyday, even her mental and stuff like that. It was just like I just started seeing things and I just started wondering like, hey, is mommy okay? Like she's, she does everything for us under the sun, but like, is she okay? And I think that's when I kind of started like actually worrying a little bit, just because it was like, okay, because I don't know. I think you don't question like the family you're brought into. Like I didn't, I was raised by a single mom. I never really questioned it. I just knew she did whatever she had to do whenever, she had everything taken care of. It wasn't, what am I trying to say? I think at that like 10, 11, getting older, like I started worrying about like her mentally, like, is she okay because she's doing this all on her own? And it's like, she's not supposed to be doing this on her own.
Yeah. How'd you deal with that worry at 10, 11?
I acted out. I acted out a little bit in school. Real talkative. Never really shut my mouth. Was always being nosy. I was one of the ones that was like, go on, get out of grown folks' business. So I just started just putting my little nose where it didn't belong.
So you think the fact that she wasn't letting you in, as far, because obviously good reason, she don't want you to be.
Yeah, she was trying to protect me the whole time. Like, I'm a child. I didn't have any business, dealing with the aspect of the things of life, of adult life at that point in time.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really have, just legitimate cares and worries compared to what I have now then.
And you think the fact that she wouldn't let you in made you more nosy towards other people? You know what I'm saying?
Because then I just wanted to start it on everything. I was like, okay, so what's going on with everybody? Is everybody like, if my mom is doing this, that means other people are going through things too.
Was it more worry when you was asking other people things, or you just wanted to be in their business?
It was at that age. It was just me being nosy. It was just me being nosy at that age. I was just curious.
So when you got to middle school, we were talking about you fighting earlier.
Oh yeah.
So when you get to middle school and you like, I guess nosy like that, do that make you a gossiper too?
Because nosy meaning like I'll pay attention. I wasn't one to go back and forth with any information. I'm nosy as like I'm observing everything that goes around. I see and I guess to an extent I'm still like that. Like I literally watch quietly and see everything go around, and I'll never speak a word of anything.
Yeah. Are you the type of person that check on everybody though?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. My friends call me Mother La Teresa because I just want to know that they're all okay. Like all of their mentally, like y'all good, y'all straight. Like literally, I will call any of them out of the blue. Same with my brothers.
And you always being considered super sweet, maybe?
Yes.
So when you feel like you're sweet, right? You feel like you always been sweet. So when you get into a fight in 7th grade, does that confuse you? Like,
yes.
Why do you?
I was terribly confused because, like, even I remember just being so angry, and I was just like, I didn't really have nothing to be angry about, and I'm like arguing with the girl and going back and forth, and it's like I can't even hear what she's saying, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? What are you saying right? What reason would we have to fight? Well, she said, and who? I don't know who she is. I don't know who. Like, we've never had a problem before. How is it an issue now?
Yeah. Was it a huge crowd around y'all and stuff about the fight?
It was, it was girls' locker room, gym time ending. So it ended up being like me and her yelling back and forth, and then other girls started crowding around. Eventually, the coach had to come and split us apart.
So as a sweet kid, you probably really wasn't much. Well, you got 2 brothers, so I don't know if you was much of a fighter or not or whatever. But did he?
I really wasn't a fighter, even though I got 2 brothers. Like, we didn't just like rub hounds a lot. Like, you definitely get like a lot of qualities from being the only girl from your brothers, but my brothers wasn't like, punching or play fighting or nothing like that. Like, we would just go get on each other's nerves more than anything.
What is it like being in the middle? You in the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 brothers. What is that relationship like with them? Single mother, only girl, 2 brothers, one older, one younger.
I have really good relationships with both my brothers. It's different because, both of them, we're all different, but I have close relationships, not even one closer than the other, but I have close relationships with both of them because they're all I've ever known as far like they have other siblings, but I don't. So even like growing up, like my older brother was just always my protector. I think a kid called me a name in elementary. He tried to come up to the school to protect me, like. And then my little brother, he's the younger brother, but he's like that protector mode too. And then he's also just like his completely different, like his own person, and like the way he explores things and like goes about life, like it's very different from what me and my older brother, we like, realist, and we just kind of stick to it. Our little brother is like just beyond all of that. Like he sees things in a totally different light than we do.
What's them conversations with moms now? Do y'all have like a real talk about like back in the day what was going on? And
you know what we do? My mom is literally my best friend, like one of my best friend, and I think it also has to do with like the age, the closeness in age too, because she was a young mom. So, and just trying to work through everything, because like sometimes she'll see, certain things or the way I might react to something, and she's like, you know what, I think this was because of how you might be affected because of something that happened back when you were younger and stuff like that. But we have very detailed conversations about the past and even our relationship today. Like, I can, as an adult, I understand my mom so much more now than I ever did when I was a kid. Like, that's what I was saying before. Like, I can appreciate it. Mm-hmm. And I can appreciate her. I love the relationship I have with my mom.
It was ever rough when you was younger?
Yeah, just the little girl thinking she can buck up to her mama.
She beat your ass.
Oh, boy. Not like that, but my mom, like, she just, even to this day, like, it is, it's just things I be thinking about. And it's literally because my mama just, she did not play. She didn't play. Like, and I, oh man, I'd be so thankful she didn't play because I'd be so scared of like certain things. I'd be like, you had every right to be scared about that. Mm-hmm. Like, I was in high school. I was a freshman in high school. It was my first high school party. My mom took me, dropped me off, got to the party. They was smoking, they was drinking. It was a bunch of stuff going on. I called my mama immediately. Come get me. She came and picked me up, and we went to get ice cream because I wasn't doing it. I was just like, you know what? Nah, this ain't it.
And you said high school. Did you say exactly how old you was when you did?
14 in high school.
Did you ever succumb to peer pressure?
Not in high school. I think I probably didn't really succumb to peer pressure till I was like 20-something. I'm not gonna lie, even that I'm about to be 32, but it's still some things I just like, maybe not.
That's different. And as far as your brothers, when they were in high school, were they different than you? As far as like,
yes, they did whatever they wanted. They did whatever they wanted.
What kept you from doing all that?
My mama. I don't know. I was terrified. I was terrified, like, always in the back of my head. And even as an adult, it was like, what's Tasha gonna say? She gonna be mad if this happened. I wanted to make her proud too. So that was like the other thing. Like, I never wanted her to look at me and be disappointed in me. Like, I knew as long as she was, like, I could make her happy and she was proud, like, she could just somehow. That's
funny, because in a lighter sense, I never cursed in high school. I never cursed in middle school. Now I cuss. But I'm talking about, and I only didn't cuss, and all my peers was doing all the cuss and all the extra stuff, even like hitting everything, moving or whatever. I never did because I never wanted to slip up cussing in front of my parents and stuff. So I didn't want, that was my little light way of making them proud, because my brothers and sisters, they slipped up all the time or whatever.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't start cussing probably until like maybe the last 2 years around her, and I be testing her just a little bit just to see what she'll like let me get away with. She'll let me talk a little bit, but then when she be like, all right, now that's enough. You're like, you get a little beside yourself.
I still won't cuss in front of mama, and they'll be like, man, you grown. I just can't do it. It's just a
I'm not gonna lie, it feels weird. Like, I'll just throw certain things out there just to see how she reacts to it. But it's like I tried to I think I got a little too comfortable doing it because I was around one of my aunties and I was like talking to my cousin, just how me and her normally talk, and I started cussing, and my auntie was looking at me like, I don't care how grown you are. You ain't never did that. You ain't about to start today.
Yeah. At what point did you once, because you said, when we kids, we really don't realize where we're going. At what point did life start hitting different? You like?
For me, it was 13. We moved to Texas from Omaha, Nebraska, and I fell super ill, and I got diagnosed with lupus, and that was when the whole world just kind of like, oh, okay, it's a whole bunch of different stuff going on out here. So it was just like, literally, it went from like, oh, okay, I'm in middle school, I'm fighting, and I'm just a regular kid in school, to now I gotta actually fight for my life. Yeah. Now I'm doing chemo treatments. Now I'm in a hospital literally for a month, missing Thanksgiving, missing Christmas. Like that was when it just kind of all just came down on me hard.
At 13.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is, because I've heard it more lately than ever, probably within the last 4 years, like different people having lupus.
Yes, so there's a lot of different forms. I have lupus, SLE. The easiest way I explain it to people, it's an autoimmune disease. So basically, when you get an infection in your body, you have blood cells, that are created to fight off that infection. So what my body does is it fights me along with the infection. So like a common cold, anything, it's just like attacks my body.
Yeah.
And it showed up originally. When we first moved to Houston, I was just getting like headaches, and then I had a headache so bad I lost like all the color in my face. With a little bit of color I got. I lost all the color in my face, and like they ended up taking like they did labs, and my blood count was like extremely low to the point it was just like almost undetectable.
Can you remember when you very first got the news?
Mm-hmm. So I remember when they confirmed it. So when I first got sick, like I told you, I was nosy. So I would look up my symptoms. I would put stuff into Google, and because I wasn't diagnosed. Where I got diagnosed with one thing, with TTP. It's a blood disease. That's how they found that first, and then they actually had to do a biopsy to go in, like the big needle up my back, to go in and actually diagnose it with lupus. So by the time they had even did the biopsy and the results came back, I had already Googled everything, and all my symptoms matched what Google said. Yeah. So I wasn't too surprised. I was just like, okay, so now what? We know, like, how do I, what's the cure? And you find out it's not one. There's no cure. You have to live with this for the rest of your life. It may have manageable moments. I've been in remission now this time for, I want to say like 8-9 years for remission this time. I've had a few relapses over the years.
How did your family and you deal with the holidays? Like you said, you had to miss a few holidays or whatever. Like because before that you probably had like big Thanksgiving meals or whatever.
So when I was in the hospital, my mom, she would come to the hospital every single day. Like, she would sleep in the hospital, whatever. She barely ever left my side, even when people would, like, beg her to, like, oh, we'll go up there, we'll sit with her. So I think for her, it was just, I don't think she really, the holidays mattered. She just wanted to know that I was okay. And I don't know how it really affected my brothers so much as far as, like, their holidays. I know it bothered them that I was in the hospital. My brothers hate hospitals, both of them. Yeah. So for them to have to see me, and even like to this day when they have to see me like in the hospital, like they hate that.
Does it alter your mood a lot? Does it just kick in like?
Not. You can have symptoms. So a lot of symptoms just include like fatigue, ache, arthritis. I have arthritis in my hands, knees, and my ankles. So, the fatigue is constant. Sometimes I can break out with like rashes on my face and stuff like that. So a lot of the stuff, I think today I'm just so used to some of the symptoms, like I can ignore it now. But before, sometimes this stuff would like really have me down. And sometimes if I'm doing too much now, like my whole body will just kind of just shut down completely.
When it comes to a relationship, how do you move in that? Because we are, a lot of us are sexual beings or whatever, and you probably got a lot of times when you just like,
I'm just honest. I mean, having lupus is something I'm definitely forward with because it's just like going into any relationship, like you got to know this is something that I'm dealing with, and I need to know that you can handle this. Because if I have a relapse or something happens, like I need you, like if I'm not able to tell you something, like I need you to be able to like to know how to operate. So I mean, I will say on the sexual front, it's never been an issue with me in a relationship telling, okay, well, I'm hurting. I don't want to do that. I've never faced a problem or gotten any pushback or anything with that.
How's it worked for you as far as relationships so far? Like, is it hard for people to stick through or?
I wouldn't say at this time. I wouldn't say it makes it challenging because most of the things, like I said, it's been so many years now that I can really manage everything pretty much on my own. And if not, like I'll at least tell you exactly what I need. It's I think I probably had maybe one serious relationship where I thought the person couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Like I was literally and we literally broke up because of it. I was kind of going through a relapse, and I was just like at a bad point, and he was like arguing with me, yelling at me, just not understand. And I'm trying to explain to him like about lupus and how it affects me, and he just was not hearing me. And then he got disrespectful, and I was like, oh, okay, this isn't gonna work.
What are like some of the things as far as like even when it comes to maintaining your health with lupus, like do you have to eat certain things or
Normal stuff, just like anybody else. Don't eat a bunch of processed food, fried food, all the stuff like that. Nothing specifically in regards to, well, nothing more than any other regular healthy diet. Drink a lot of water. With lupus, I mean, at first I was on like a lot of pills, taking a lot of medicine all the time. Thankfully, I'm down to just like a couple of just prescriptions now where I don't have to take so many pills and have to just make sure I eat with this pill, make sure I take this pill after 10, and make sure I take this pill before 5. So, but there's like a lot of kind of just things that they tell you to do. Like one of the things with lupus is like the weather. Any extreme weather will just greatly affect me. Like extreme cold and then extreme heat. It's just like, especially with lupus, like they really tell you most times to just like avoid direct sunlight completely. So a lot of times during the summer, like I'll be outside a little bit, but if it's like super hot right in the middle of the day hot, like I'm not gonna be outside because that sunlight will just wipe me out for like the rest of the week, just too much. And then the extreme cold, like especially out here, it gets rough because of the winter time, but like my joints will ache. My whole body will literally just be hurting to the point I just be in the house for days.
what is the heat doing? Like is
Kind of like it drains you. Like it drains everything out of you completely. I can't even explain it. It's just like it literally just takes the life out of you.
And as far as work, you are they very understanding of like
Yeah,
when you can't?
I work from home, so majority of the time that's it's not too much of a problem. But if I'm under FMLA too, so if I do have any episodes or anything like that, I can take the time that I need to gather myself and then come back when I'm ready, whether it be a couple hours or whether it be a day or 2 days.
Mm-hmm. You got children?
I don't.
Does that affect you having children?
They originally they tell you yes. They basically say I remember being 13 years old and them telling me like I'll never be able to have kids because they recommend that you don't because of the prescriptions I was taking. A lot of them were ones that would be damaging to a baby and would not to mention it would just be a super high risk pregnancy. So I had been hearing that like since 13 years old. So it's just like at this time, I don't know if it affects me or not still. Like I don't actively try to have kids, obviously. But
Right.
I think hearing that so much when I was younger made me not want to have kids now because I don't want to risk it. And lupus is hereditary. So the thought of passing that on and the thought of being so high risk with pregnancy scares the daylight out of me.
Does that affect any dreams? Has it affected any dreams or aspirations you had maybe as a young kid?
Mm, I don't. I don't think so. I don't think it stopped any of my dreams or aspirations. I think it affects how I move. Like even for example, like even like going to a concert or something like that. Like anything I'm doing or any situation I'm walking to, events or different things like that. Like I need to know like what's going on. Like I try to process the whole thing in general before like because if I start feeling some type of way, I need to be able to get out. So like I need to be able
Yeah.
to leave. And like like some of my friends didn't really understand it, but then once I explained it to them, I'm like, when I'm feeling some type of way, like I gotta be able to go. I gotta go. I love y'all. I'll see y'all later.
Can you drink? Do you drink?
I drink a little bit. I'm a lightweight, so I don't drink too much. Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to drink, but again, like
Yeah.
just generally, just like regular diet situations. But I'm a super lightweight. Like a couple of shots, and don't give me a daiquiri in a shot. That's gonna.
You said you just started getting active.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you start at such a late age? And are you like super into it now?
Yes and no. Like I like going out. It's fun. It's fun, but it's like it's a little hot in here. It's a little crowded. They step on my feet. I'm ready to go. So it's like I like the highs, but then my low will kick in and be like, all right, it's 1 a.m. Oh, it's 2 a.m. It's time to go. I think the latest I got into the house one night recently at like 4 a.m. and I was just like, ain't no way. It was a fun night. It was a fun night. It was a really fun night, but it was just like I'm tired. I am exhausted.
Yeah.
So it's like I just started, but it's like I also feel myself about to stop too because I'm like I don't have too much. Like when I first got out here, I didn't really I didn't know too many people. Obviously, I ended up meeting people through Clubhouse. So, and it was like that's how I kind of found my whole friend group and my family out here, and it's just like they was going out having fun. I was like, oh, okay, I want to go out and have fun too.
What are some of the things that are hitting you now, though? Because going back to when you said kid ain't nothing really much. Obviously, you was worried about it a little more than you let on, though. Lupus ain't nothing to play with. But I'm wondering, like, what's hitting you now to where you like, oh, nah, this shit is real. You
What
get
in life?
In life.
Everything. Bills, the future, just thinking about it just every day and just not even that, like even just I don't even like even just watching my nieces and nephew go up. My oldest niece just turned 12 and it's just like I was looking at baby pictures. I'm like, gosh, this is so many years have just like passed by and you were this little baby and now you're this beautiful girl and it's just like it's nuts to me. It's like when you really become an adult, like, or what's the how they used to tell you? They used to tell you don't rush to be an adult.
Mm-hmm.
I understand it now.
I be looking at that stuff like when you look at the kid, you be like, damn, I ain't doing shit because it's like they get. You're 12 now. When you was 0 or when you was 1, I was like, man, I'm about to have this done and have this done. But you like 12 now, and I'm still right here doing the same thing. Is that like part of the? I don't know what your life is like as far as like what you want to do in life, but is that part of the thing to where you like, damn, you're 12?
Honestly, no. Um, I've been being here. I've done a lot of things that I've not a lot, but I've actually done things that I've always wanted to do, like making music. I always wanted to make music. It was just I was just like kind of, singing in the shower, singing in my room, but never ever did anything. But being out here and being around people that made music and rappers and singers and producers and engineers, like I made a song and then I made another song and another song. So it's like I think I'm doing the things that I want to do. I don't feel stagnant. Like I feel like I feel like I know myself a lot more. I feel like I've grown a lot more. I've allowed myself to have more experiences and try different things, like trying music. If I was in Houston, I would have never did that.
Why
I'd have
not?
never made a song. I don't, because I would have I never did. I had 1,000 things always written down, and literally, like even out here when I did it, it was random. I woke up, I was just, somebody on Clubhouse gave me, not somebody, Bruiser. Shout out to Bruiser. Bruiser gave me a beat. It was like, Lala, can you make a song out of this? And I was just like, yeah. I wrote a song, sat on the song for like 3 months. One day I just woke up and decided I wanted to record it. And I booked at Stone Studio. I booked with Stone and paid for like 3 hours and went in there and just made a song. But it was just like something in me just felt like I had to do it. Like, and I could do it. In Houston, I never felt like that before. Mm. It was like I was waiting for somebody to like give me the opportunity instead of me just doing it myself.
You had friends in Houston though, right?
Mm-hmm. But it was like probably a lot less friends, like two, maybe 3, 4 friends, a couple of people that I just, went to high school with, and that's really about it. And everybody just kind of was doing their own thing. So I was just in the house and boring and just working.
You find is it more comfortable, like, the fact that you don't really know these people?
As far as now?
You know them now, but I'm talking about like, because coming to Kansas City and opening up versus like opening up where you were. You know what I'm saying?
It's random.
So are you more comfortable around people you don't know, or more comfortable around?
I was more comfortable around them. I don't know. So Kansas City has always been like a second home to me. So Kansas City is someplace I've always known I wanted to be since I was a kid. I used to come here like literally summers, breaks, and everything. So I always knew I wanted to be in Kansas City. But I don't know. It was a lot easier kind of opening up to them and like having experiences with them. It was, I don't know why. And even now, it still is. Like I can pretty much talk to them about anything. Like they just was like, hey, this is who we are. This is who you are. We rock with it.
In your Instagram bio, it say poet laureate. Is that how you?
The reincarnation of poet Laureate. I used to write poetry.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with it when I was younger. And I got this when I was like, 18. I got this when I was 18. My bad. My tattoo. Yeah. It says poetry. It's in a weird angle, but I was obsessed with poetry. I used to, even when I was in college, like I used to go get the all the books about like Langston Hughes, Maya Angelou. I just used to get them from the library. I used to just want to write poetry. I used to want to be on Def Poetry Jam. I used to want to go to slam poetry contests. I never did because I was terrified of just being on stage and speaking on that platform.
I read the definition of it because I never heard it. I just heard a poet before, and I'm not even sure I understand the definition because it's like doing it for like royal people on special occasions or something like that. What is
so it? I got it from Where did I get it from? I got it from I believe it was Langston Hughes. They always refer to him as the poet laureate. And I thought it was cool when I was like reading about him. So I was like, I'm the reincarnation of the poet laureate. That's how I came upon it.
What were you doing, like life poetry or
Yeah.
just rhyming words?
No, it was like I definitely would try to rhyme words when I can, but most of it was just life poetry because it's kind of it's hard to just rhyme everything.
Yeah.
A lot of the experiences that you have, it's hard to put some of that into words sometimes.
Do you understand that stuff more now than you did when you were younger? Because I used to be on listening to Def Poetry Jam, and I just heard dope ass words put together. But now that I'm older and I look back at something that's they was talking.
Yeah, it resonates with you. It hits a little deeper. I do that with poetry, music too. It's like everything feels different when you get older. It's like, oh,
Where you find therapy at?
I find therapy currently just kind of meditating in my own little bubble, like in my house. My house is like super cozy. My living room is like my favorite place in the world, and I could literally just a lot of time when I get off work, I just sit in my living room. I'll just open the patio door and I just sit in just complete silence, just to kind of just decompress. Because I take phone calls all day, so I'm talking to 150 patients, doctors, and everything all day. So I just find therapy in just quiet moments. I find therapy in music. I even find therapy in like my nieces and nephews. Like a lot of times when since I'm not from here, I'm away from them all the time.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times when I maybe feeling down or maybe getting a little homesick or something, I will literally just call all of them and put them on like a group FaceTime so I can just sit there and talk to them. I'm the best FaceTime auntie ever. No, literally. I'm FaceTime auntie. Like they will call me while I'm at work, call me when they get out of school. Like I really just enjoy talking to my babies. I find so much peace in them.
Yeah. You ride in the car like quiet too? Or are you doing the
Sometimes
music?
it depends. If I have a lot of things on my mind, sometimes I will just ride around in just silence. Cause I love music. I love music to death, but sometimes even the music can kind of be too loud to just. Sometimes you just gotta process things.
You the person that everybody do a lot of people come to you with their issues and stuff or trust you with their
I think so. I don't think people come to me about like everything, but I think I'm a person that they know that they can trust and they feel comfortable speaking to. Like, I got this situation, or I just need somebody to just listen or talk to me, hear me out for a second.
I know I'm that person. That stuff is like it can
Draining.
sometimes it can make me dark. Hearing everybody's stuff is start and then I'm like real
It starts to take a toll on you because like when I don't know what like being like an
empathetic.
empath.
Yeah.
You take on all of everybody. So if I got this friend coming to me, this brother coming to me, my cousin coming to me, my mama coming to me, it's a lot of different energies coming all at you. And that's why I say that therapy really be that silence. It really be by yourself solace, like literally, because I care about everybody and I want everybody to be okay. But sometimes in order for me to make sure y'all okay, I gotta be okay too first. Cause I love truly being there for people, but sometimes you take away from yourself being there for everybody all the time.
When you realize that?
I don't know, very late in the game.
Yeah.
I think I'm still realizing it because I still will go out of my way for other people. Now, and it's just I do it without thinking. It comes so natural. It's the easiest thing in the world. You need something, What you want? You hungry? Oh my gosh, don't tell me you want to eat. I'm going to cook, make you feel better, whatever. Like, or just, playing music with them on the phone or anything. Like, it's just so easy to be there for people. It's a lot. And sometimes, unfortunately, it's a lot easier to be there for people than it is to be there for myself.
Do you find yourself affecting other people's moods too, to the point where they can tell? I mean, they see something wrong with you, so it's like the energy in the room is like down.
I don't know. I've never, not that I've ever just really could pinpoint.
Yeah, that's a thing for me too. Like, not too. That's a thing for me. Like, they can see it on my face or just read it. They could just feel it or whatever, and it starts to everybody starts moving a certain way that,
Like they walking on eggshells.
and it starts to bother me because I don't want you to feel.
Take on, yeah. Like this just, I'm just going through this right now. It's not, you ain't got to deal with it. It's just, I'm just carrying it right now.
And it forces me to come up out of it when I'm trying to sit up
in
in
it
it and
make
process.
sure you're okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Because now I got to make sure you're okay. Because now I'm worried about you when I was already worried about me and what I was going through.
And I say all that to say, are you still fighting with that part?
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Yes.
And the silent time, the solace is helping you move better with dealing with that.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. It does help me move better just because it kind of it grounds me. It helps me kind of like refocus on myself because if you're not in the right space, there ain't nothing you can do for nobody else. Mentally, physically, emotionally, even spiritually. Like it's funny. There was a meme the other day that I seen, and it was a girl sitting on the bed, stressed out, hair crazy, with her phone in her hand, texting her best friend, everything gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. We're gonna pray about it. And she was going through her own storm, and it's like, it's literally that. I could be going through my own storm, but if somebody hits me, I'm going to try and be there as much as I can. But it's like I had to have those moments where, you know what? And it took me a long time to actually tell people that like I needed my time to decompress. But I appreciate the way the people in my life respond to it now. So like they will literally, like my cousin, she's so good with this. Like she will call me and she'll be like, hey, I need to talk. Are you she's like, are you at a place where you can listen, where you feel like talking? See? And she just really she gives me my moment. And even with her, like I try to recognize like in her tone, of even because I could be heavy in a conversation, just talking away. But if I can recognize something in her tone, I'm like, okay, she needs a moment. She needs to decompress. So it's just like, I think it's really important to just, kind of just check with your people. Like, yeah, of course, make sure they're okay. But sometimes, they just need a moment to themselves too. And I think that's really important. So I appreciate all the people in my life taking a second, like, hey, I need a vent. Are you at a space where you can mentally, take this in or talk to me?
Yeah, but how are you doing with that as far as like, are you like, yeah, I can do it knowing you can't, or you shouldn't?
I'm honest about it. If I can do it at that point in time, I will hear you out. But if I know I am just worn out and I ain't got it in me, I'm gonna tell you just not right now. I'm gonna come back to you. But it's just not gonna be right at this moment because I don't never want anybody to like talk to me or like confide in me or anything, and I'm in a bad headspace and then something I say come off to them the wrong way or affect them negatively, all because I couldn't say, you know what, just give me a second and then I'm gonna talk to you about it later.
Yeah. I learned that's a selfish part of me by doing that, by not saying, not having the strength to say, like, listen, I'll deal with that. I'll holler at you later or whatever, because throughout the day, I'm still thinking like, I don't want them to go through this by themselves. But the thing is, like, am I only doing that because I don't want to seem like I don't want to be the person to let somebody down, but ultimately I'm letting them down by like what you said. I'm letting them down because I'm not the full. I can't be the full person they need me to be if I don't take that time to decompress and maybe pray and
Absolutely.
yeah.
Prayer will take everything to the next level. I sometimes even in the midst of my prayer, I'll throw on a little gospel just to amp it up a little bit. It's you really like self-care is just like a real thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that before.
Your relationship with God, would you say you have one?
Yes.
With all that you go through, or even with the lupus and
Mhm.
whatever, what keeps you believing in that there is a God,
I don't know.
or in your relationship with him?
I couldn't even honestly tell. The only thing I could tell you is I think when I was younger and I first got diagnosed, like I used to question God and be like, why, why this, why me? I'm a kid. I don't understand this. I don't understand why I'm going through this. But now as an adult, like what keeps my faith is like you made it through all of that.
Yeah.
He carried you through all of that. Like I am alive and well for the most part. Like I think when I was first diagnosed, they said that a lot of people weren't living until like a certain age. I think it was like 25 or something. I'm blessed to about to be 32. I've been living with lupus since I was 13. And not only just that, like so many situations, so many people around me. Like I see how God moves every day. Like it's for me, it's impossible to deny his presence, to deny what he's done in my life, or even the people around me. Like I've come so far, my family's come so far, like my friends have come so far. Like it's nothing about it is quiet. Everything he does it's just out loud, and it's love. Like that's even as a kid, like I just always knew. I was just like, I always knew God loved me. I remember walking home from school one day and it was, people go around the neighborhood knocking on the doors. Do you know Jesus? One of the people, one of the guys was across the street. And I was walking home from school and he was like, do you pray? Do you know who God is? Do you know who Jesus is? And I was like, yes, sir, I do. And, as a younger kid, my mom wasn't in church like that, like a lot. There was a lot of stuff going on, but I always found a way. I would go to somebody's church. My cousins and uncles and auntie, they were Jehovah's Witness. I would go there. I would go to church with my other cousins. I would just look for God in so many places. And he was always there at every turn.
I'm saying, how do you know it's him and not you, though? Why do you feel it's
Because
him and not you, though?
I can't explain it. I feel it. I feel it all over. I feel it in my bones. Like it like really wraps around you.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's you can't shake it. Like I feel covered. I feel covered. So, and I don't know. I don't know another way to say.
No, I'll hear you.
I just feel covered, and this is like that has to be God. That has to be God. That has to be love. Cause who else could do this? Could bring me through this entire life? I can't do this. I was 13 when I was diagnosed with lupus. I didn't know nothing. The doctors could barely figure out what's going on. Like so. Something more had to be at play. I remember literally at one point, when I first got diagnosed with lupus, my blood count had dropped all the way. I was in like ICU really bad. I remember like I was out of it, but I could hear my mama and I could hear my grandma praying. And after that, I remember coming up out of that. I remember opening my eyes and seeing my mama and my grandma right by my bedside. And I'm like, I was just gone. So God is working. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like
Explaining it well.
It's so hard because it's like, I don't know. It's just something that literally, again, covered. I'm just covered, and I feel it at all times.
I personally don't understand how. I mean, no judgment. How people don't believe there's like. I get when you say I ain't gonna say I understand. I don't understand why people just say it's science or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Because the fact that I can like do this shit on command and I still don't know how I'm doing it is just like. And then like certain thoughts I'll be having that I've never thought of in my life, like how I can sit down and have a conversation with somebody and say some shit I've never said before.
And it comes right out your mouth with ease, like what you said earlier, about praying. You was like, the words will be there, the words will come out.
You know what's crazy? While we sitting here saying this, I was just about to say that to you, like what we was talking about earlier. That's crazy. And yeah, when people just say, I don't know what to say. Well, I just believe he'll speak to you because I'm not a big I don't use fancy words or none of that, but he don't ask for fancy words and all that. Just speak
Come as you are.
Whatever's on your mind. The things that I went through made me realize purpose. Because you said earlier, I'm surviving some things that people usually don't survive or whatever. So I had a few experiences that made me realize, okay, a lot ain't here. What is my purpose and stuff? So I feel like this is purpose. This right here is purpose. Have you realized your purpose, or have you been seeking that?
I've been seeking it. I don't know if I know what my true total purpose is, but ultimately I feel like it got to do with affecting people, like the way I care about people, the way I love people, like I and the the light I try to provide to people. Like I feel like it has something to do with that, because people tell me all the time that like that's like the purest thing about me, and I'm like, if that's the purest thing, that got to be from God. Like that's a gift. That's something He placed upon me. That ain't just me, because I don't. I don't be having. I'm just not the purest person all the time, but it's like people can still see that in me. That's Him.
When He's speaking through you, do you to somebody else in their situations, do you ever like be like, oh, that was for me too?
Mm-hmm.
I do that often.
Mm-hmm. It's like, ooh, I definitely needed to hear that. I definitely needed to hear that.
And that's another one of those things where I be feeling like, yo, it's a God, bro.
It is. It is. That's why I said it's undeniable. Like I couldn't make sense of it any other way. Science can't explain that to me.
They say a lot of things about science. Scientifically, milk did a body good, but now it don't. You know what I mean?
They create most of our food off of science. Like, y'all don't think science was an idea that He gave someone? Like, where do y'all think all of this beautiful art, music, all of the architecture, the buildings, like this building is standing? Who gave the idea for somebody to do that? Science just triggered it off in that man's head.
That's real.
I'm just saying.
No, that's and then the fact that we all can't do it in the same way when we all have different ways of doing this certain thing. Like even when it comes to music, I don't have that ability that you may have or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So like it's got to be somebody making those little things different in us versus science would just make us all the
same.
Yeah. Science would just make us all the same. So that's just, I don't know. I just think people just want to have a different opinion about stuff. I'm not saying they wrong. I'm just saying what's so hard. And then another thing is like, say there is a God. what did it hurt you to believe in him? Because if
Nothing.
yeah,
You don't lose no sleep. Nothing.
people just want to go against, and then you hear people all the time say, "Oh my God," or even like I always question people when I'm not against it, but why? If marriage is under God, why would you get married if you don't believe in God? What's the point of that? Who are you? What are you? I would just be out here smacking everything. Yeah. Not really, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have no time. What am I marrying you for?
Yeah, because it ain't ordained by God. Like, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense to me to ignore his existence. I don't know. I've always just, like I said, I've been seeking God since I was a little girl, and it never felt wrong. I've been to like different churches, different religions, and I've always known that he's real. 'Cause who ex, explain the sky, explain the birds, explain the sun, explain the moon.
Science.
Who created science? See, it gotta come back somewhere. It has to come back somewhere.
Yeah.
And how could it not come back to the Most High? Like, after all that I've been through, man, there is no way I would be able to smile, to even move the way, like, or been through some of those things. Man, and prayer is too real.
Your hair is herring, by the way.
Oh,
I just but
appreciate it.
it
I had
been
to.
kept looking at it though. It's been great having you. We
I
been
know.
going back and forth for about since I started it.
Literally since the very beginning.
Yeah, and
that's why I had to say something to you not too long ago. I was like, look, if you still want to do it, I'm still interested.
I appreciate you always supporting the platform, sharing, and all of that stuff. So
my pleasure. I love what you're doing.
Can you leave us marked out?
Yes.
And then pray us out.
So my mark is just gonna be stay true. Stay true to you. Stay true to yourself, to your essence, to your being. Don't question yourself, and don't let nobody question who you are inside. I think that is so so important. Just stay true to yourself and let your light shine.
No prayer.
Right. Dear Lord, thank you so much for bringing us together today on this platform. We greatly appreciate it. We appreciate everything that you're doing, everything that you've done, and everything you're going to continue to do in our lives. I will forever be grateful for how you have affected me in my life, the people I love, family and friends, and thank you so much to Damo and Alpone for having me today. I appreciate you guys so much. Lord, may you cover them, bless them, their family, their friends. And thank you for giving us this platform to speak on and to be blessings to others. In Jesus' name, amen.
Goal is to leave a lasting imprint on their minds and our hearts. We pray you've been indelibly marked.
Thank you.